I'm the founder and first President General of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, an organization determined to unite all the black people of the world into one great body to establish a country and government absolutely their own. And we are the descendants of a suffering people. We are the descendants of a people determined to suffer no longer. We shall organize 400 million black people of the world into one vast organization to plant the banner of freedom on the great continent of Africa. Because if Europe is for the Europeans, then Africa is for the black people of the world. Many men and women as black as I am, and even more so, have believed themselves white under the West Indian Order of Society. I was simply an impossible man to use openly the term Negro, yet everyone beneath his breath was calling the black man a nigger. I had to decide whether to please my friends and be one of the black whites of Jamaica and be reasonably prosperous, or come out openly and help improve and protect the integrity of the black millions and suffer. I decided to do the latter. There is no future for people who deny their past. My foreparents, my grandparents, my mother, my father, God Almighty said there shall be no more life for you. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he intended Negroes to be a servant class, users of wood and jars of water. Well, I predicated my view of man on the doctrine of Imago Dei. All men, regardless of color, are created in the image of God. Now, from this premise followed the equality of all men and the brotherhood of all men. The biblical injunction of Acts 17:26 reminds us that he created of one blood all nations of men to dwell on the face of the earth. I was most interested in brotherhood within his own race, because if Negroes are created in God's image and Negroes are black, then God must in some sense be black. If the white man has the idea of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. We have found a new ideal, because whilst our God has no color, and yet it is human to see everything through one's own spectacles, and since the white people have seen their God through their white spectacles, we have only now started to see our God through our own spectacles. But we believe in
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. This is a late night, a quick pop up joint that I'm doing right now because I'm like extremely heated, and right now I think it was a good time for me to speak on on what you guys see here in the title. Is basically about. I mean. About I'm trying to ignore a lot of the stuff, but the ignorance and the dishonesty is like way too much for me to ignore. The blatant hate and dishonesty and concern for black people right now. And ugh, like I said, if it was something that, hey, look, to each his own, everybody could do whatever they want. People and groups obviously are not a monolith, but I'm taking umbrance to this because you have black people saying that they love black people. The epitome of love for black people, in my view, is basically, especially in this day and age, is saying, hey, look, I have a love for my brother regardless of what. We have to come together as one, right? For the betterment of our race, no matter where we are in the world. And for someone to take that and put a white supremacist spin on it really, really irritates me to the point of I just have to say something and I have to speak my mind. So as you guys see here with the thumbnail that I have, it's basically Pan-Republican and Afro-Think Tank versus Garvey. and me. And the reason why I'm saying that, we're supposed to be standing on the shoulders of what Marcus Garvey has laid before us and what we have to do, just like many others. So have a problem with people who say they stand on the shoulders of Pan-Africanism and they try to co-opt it into another branch of white supremacy, right? Try to have something in there where white supremacy could easily creep in and come in, right? So tonight I'm going to try to make it real quick. I always say that, and it's always end up being long. But tonight I'm trying to do a quick review of what Afro-Think Tank was basically defending his position on conservatism, and how conservatism and Pan-Africanism can be or can't be in the same space. There's nuance, there's shades of gray. We all understand that, right? Um, I agree with Afro Think Tank for the most part, but there's certain things and certain terminologies that I don't think he's very clear or aware of, right? And I've spoken about this before in my videos before, and but I'll do a recap real quick to let you, so you understand why he's out of context. Brandon, he's just pretty much at this point a fucking lost cause. He's a cuckold for Trump and for the Republican Party. Has no nuance. He is he's basically he's basically like a Tariq Nasheed follower. Donald Trump is Tariq Nasheed, and he's just a minion. Because when you point certain things out, even when you do the FBA, they have they have some type of crazy retort, or they'll just change the whole subject, or they'll just be completely dishonest in the conversation that we're having back and forth. So I'm just going to get into it. Like I said, I'm going to play of the recap of what was pretty much going on, right? As far as like Afro Think Tank defending his position, and then Brandon having a very completely dishonest, as usual, head up his ass, looking like fucking, I don't know who with them goofy glasses. He's trying to look like fucking CeeLo Green, because that's what he looked like. Looked like fucking CeeLo Green and looked like CeeLo Green and what's his name? I said, oh my God, and Elton John all in one. He got fucking Elton John glasses. Like, anyway, that's besides the point. He looked goofy as hell and he sound goofy as hell. So basically, I'm going to critique and pretty much set the record straight for what it is and a dishonesty, and to put everybody back on the path as far as like what Pan-Africanism is supposed to be: pro-black, for black people. Any vehicle that we use, we should always have to keep our eyes on the prize, is for black people. No one should come in within our ranks, right, and try to like, even our own, which is our own at this point, and say like these group of white people is going to be our savior. That's not what Pan-African is all about. That's not what Marcus Garvey was all about. The end goal was self-sufficiency. Black people getting to a point where we could be self-sufficient in our day-to-day lives, politically, economically, spiritually, and with just able just to live right on our own and be happy, to look at ourselves in the mirror and be happy of who we are, what we came from, what we're doing, and where we're going. That's what we're supposed to be. But we can't do that if we have niggas who think that white people and whiteness and conservatism is the end all be all to our plight, when it's the exact opposite. It's pretty much like sleeping with the enemy, but not to gain his trust, but to gain his favor. Not to gain his trust and cut his throat in the middle of the night, but just to be comfortable within his arms. And that's what conservatism is to black people. All right. So like let me see how I am going to do this. So right now, I'm gonna do it this way. let's do it this way. We're gonna do Brandon's critique of what it is, of what Afro-Think Tank is gonna say, and I'll just critique it along the way. How about that? We're gonna do it like that, right? We're gonna do it like that.
Peace. We could do what FBA can't do, because shoot, you say what he said. Tariq would have kicked his ass up out of FBA, nigga. You out the club, boy. Don't bring your ass back to the Hidden Hustle Lounge either. We whoop your ass, boy. We can disagree. Okay, fine. And is that not what every aspect of, is that not what every single African,
some of my comments that I got on Pan-Africans cannot be conservatives, okay? So there's a lot of comments on there, and there's a lot of people that's with me, and there's some people that's a little concerned that I may be possibly talking about a certain individual named Pan-African Strikes Back, and they think that I'm like, maybe I'm possibly like saying something about Pan-African Strikes Back and not saying Pan-African Strikes Back. Channel, let me be clear. I'm not talking about Pan-African Strikes Back, because you know Pan-African Strikes Back, that's my brother. That's my boy. Straight up, there will be no space in between me and him, even if we have different political views. But just so you know.
And that's fine. You have different political views, that's fine. But I want to give y'all a little disclaimer. Anyone that's new to the channel, let you know that everything that Afro-Think Tank is saying, I agree with 90% of what he is saying. We agree more than we disagree. I don't even wouldn't call that a disagreement. I think we're just mixing up our terminologies or whatever. But I agree with 90%. So Brandon's cool with him, but he's not cool with me, which is just fine. I really don't care. But I'm just mentioning that to mention the hypocrisy, right? He likes it coming from him, but if it's coming from someone else, Brandon gets his Trump draws all in a bunch and don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? He starts screaming out for his orange daddy, and he has to go defend him like a good lapdog. So I just want to just state that.
No, there are other people who are Black Power Pan-Africans who are also conservative. Those are the ones I'm talking about. But it's kind of hard to talk about Pan-Africanism and conservatism without people assuming that I'm talking about Pan-African Strikes Back, seeing how he's.
But you are talking about him because he is a conservative. Now, I would really like to know other oxymoronic people who put Pan-Africanism and American conservatism in the same thing, because that's an oxymoronic statement, because the two are opposed of each other, right? And Afro is gonna pretty much agree with me, and I'll let you know where he agrees with me. So those two things are moral. I would really like to know who that is. So he is talking about Brandon because Brandon believes in the cornerstones of what conservatism is.
His name is Pan-African, and he's a conservative, obviously, right? But let me be more specific about what I mean, why you can't be a conservative and a Pan-African at the same time. And let me be specific about what I mean about conservatism, because I actually made a video defending the conservatism of Pan-African Strike Back a long time ago. And people got mad at me saying, why are you defending Brandon? I'm like, because you guys don't understand what he's talking about. You know, you don't understand where he's coming from and what he's talking about. And people jumped on me for defending the conservatism, right? So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, but you really have to break that down than what it is. Because conservatism as a whole isn't bad. Just like liberalism, being liberal isn't all bad as a whole. So he has to really qualify to see what he was defending to even make a judgment call.
But this is my view, and I want you guys to listen to me very carefully. All right. In the United States of America, you have the major groups, well, for argument's sake, is the Democrat liberals and the Republican and the conservatives, right? My belief follow me, okay? Because maybe I didn't do a good job articulating exactly what I mean. You understand? Me myself can understand if I have not been effective in my communication. You understand? So I'm gonna try to be more clear about what I mean. What I'm trying to say is America's version, white Europeans' version of conservatism in this country is not conducive to African people. You
Thank you. Agreed.
understand? Even, hold up, white liberalism, white liberalism is not conducive to African people. But
Agreed also. I agree.
white liberals are more corporate liberals, right? So they're more about the money. Therefore, they take the money from us, they steal money from us, they tax us, and they don't care about us. They just
That again is a half lie, and this is where I begin to disagree with him. Well, it's a half truth, half lie. Both parties, Democrats and Republicans, are bribed by corporations, right? They all bribed by corporations called corporate bribes. As long as you put it on paper, like, hey, look, this person is financing my campaign. So the Koch brothers are extremely right wing, right? And they support nearly all right wing Republican. Oh crap! What I do? Republican candidates, right? Nearly all right wing Republican candidates. Oh man, did I do that? I don't know if you guys are seeing that. I guess I messed up. All right wing Republican candidates, the Koch brothers, and we also know obviously the NRA. The NRA, they mostly give money to who? They mostly give money to the right wing, right? Because again, the right wing has a unhealthy gun culture, right? And so if
they just want to.
so when it's come to like repealing gun laws or having more rules and regulations for people who buy guns, for people with mental health, like hey, look, people that have mental health issues or domestic violence issues, things like that, they shouldn't be having guns. NRA doesn't like that, so what they're gonna do? They're gonna hire politicians, right-wing politicians that are in power to say, hey, look, I'm gonna quote unquote just finance your campaign or give you a campaign donation, but remember me when you're on that seat. So both parties do it. So this is where he is telling the half truth. Because remember, America is the first nation on earth where its ruler was a president. President are usually for companies and corporations. America said, no, we're going to be about that business. And then came us as slaves, African slaves, whatever, and we became a commodity. We were an asset to America in the beginning. So he's wrong there. Far as half wrong. Both parties do it.
Gouge us with money. And they also want to allow their degenerates to be able to do whatever they want. Their white supremacy is a white man can be a black woman, because we all know white men are trying to be black women. That's what it is. They want the power to be.
Again, he's correct again, right? So what he is talking about is the far left. So the far left wants to redefine something that shouldn't be redefined, like redefine reality, redefine normancy. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. Now, if you as an individual feel that you are not the person that's born in your own body, that is your issue, your gripe, something that you have to deal with either psychologically and if unfortunately medically, right? But the reality is you are who you were born. You could be whatever you want when you grow up, right? But again, that's another thing. So segments of the left, the far left. Now, I'm in a Republican space and I'm also in liberal spaces. Most of the liberal spaces that I am in do not agree with transgenderism, do not agree that a woman could be a man could be a woman, do not agree with men should be playing in women's sports just because they put on a bra and a wig and lipstick, right? Most people in those left-wing liberal spaces do not agree with that, right? So the ones that do would be, God damn it, would be, yes, I agree with them, would be a form of white supremacy because it undermines black people and
They just want
very common people who have certain things that they hold pride in. Someone could just come in and take, well, I'm a black man now, like, or I'm a black woman, like Rachel Dolezal or whatever, right? You know, no, certain things we have to keep sacred, right? So he is right there, but that's the critique that I'm going to give.
to gouge us with money. And they also want to allow their degenerates to be able to do whatever they want. Their white supremacy is a white man can be a black woman, because we all know white men are trying to be black women. That's what it is. They want the power to be black women, and they want you to accept it. And they want all Africans.
And on this, I agree. The liberals want to tax you.
And shut the fuck up. So here he's just gonna just fucking lie. But maybe I should just let him lie his ass off because he's just gonna cut it off. But let's hear some on this Pan-Republicoon's comments.
They want to take all your money, right? They want to take your money without you really having a say so in it.
Stupid ass. That's called being taxed. When has in the world of history of people getting taxed, especially in America, say, oh, hey, you have a say for it? You don't have a say. I mean, you could refute it if you go to your congressman or your governor or whatever if you don't like being taxed, but certain things, but taxes has a purpose. Since when people don't like taxes? If you don't want to be taxed, then you're not going to have things go towards sanitation, the FDA, the FAA, the Department of Transportation, FDA, sanitation, police, cops, fire department. So you sound like a fucking idiot. This is where your taxes go for: your sales tax, your income tax, your property tax.
And on top of that, what makes it worse, what adds insult to injury in the whole situation, is that then they want to let the most degenerate people amongst their group come into your communities and basically shame you and indoctrinate you into all these radical ideas. The white liberal, I ain't a liberal, guys. I ain't a liberal, but I don't see white or black conservatives promoting the abortion of black babies. I don't see that. So when you say, I'm not a conservative, a Pan-Africanism can be conservative, and then you start spewing liberal talking points, I look at you like, so you're with the abortion of black babies by the millions.
Again, he's lying. He's drawing a narrative that no one's drawing. So he's creating, no one said that. He's creating a situation in his own little pea-brain mind and saying, well, this is what you agree with. He's just pretty much talking to himself, right? What liberals want to do real quick is basically have the freedom, women, right, to say, hey, look, I should have the right, is my body, my choice to have an abortion. Now, the conversation will further go is like, okay, why you want to have abortion? Well, it's not really any of your business. I understand protecting life and things like that, but then again, it's a conversation. It has to do with, hey, look, it's my body. I may need abortion due to medical reasons. I may have an abortion for any personal reason that they have. Now, only thing I agree with is me as a moderate, right? A moderate / progressive. What I would say is like, look, of course you're not going to be killing like children, like infants. I mean, fetus in like its second, third trimester and stuff like that far into it. Of course not. That's not what liberals are saying. Liberals aren't saying black or white or anybody in this matter saying kill their children. No one is saying kill babies, let alone black babies. So he's a lying bastard right there. What the conversation is, and what he's not telling you because he's a fucking piece of shit Republican, is that the pushback from liberals is that Republican lawmakers are basically saying, hey, look, you cannot have an abortion under any circumstances, not for incest, not for rape. If you guys look at my other videos, which I'm gonna show right now, let me see if I have it up right here, ready to go. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on a second, guys. If I keep telling people I'm on and they don't care, they come on and they call me anyway. Like what I'm doing, it don't matter. All right, hold on a second. So I'm gonna show you right here. You know what? I'm not even gonna show you guys yet. I'm gonna show it later on. I'm gonna let him finish. But that's the pushback. You had some Republicans that were saying like, wow, when we make this ruling, this is crazy. Remember the 10-year-old girl that got raped and she couldn't in Ohio and she couldn't get an abortion because there was no abortion under no circumstances. And then she had to go to Indiana to get an abortion, right? You had right wingers, even up to this day, is saying that, oh, well, she should have the baby, knowing that a 9-year-old having a baby could kill her. They don't care. That's the pushback. That's the pushback, and this is the lie that he's telling.
Oh, you're with your kids getting a sex change operation at 7 or 8 years old. Because if you say I am not a black,
again, he's talking about a very small segment of the left, but he has to generalize because there's no nuance in his head. There's no shades of gray. You either this or that. That's it. It's a very simple mind, a reptilian brain he has.
Sir, you can't be a conservative. I'm like, then what are you? Because in America, in my opinion, if you're not a conservative, you're a liberal. If you voted for Joe Biden, you support all these things.
Another lie. When did Joe Biden say ran on is okay for all the things that he just said? When did Joe Biden says I'm going to kill black babies and I want abortion just to kill babies? When did Joe Biden ran on, oh, okay, trans this and trans this and trans. That's what he wasn't running on. So that's a lie.
So if you say Pan-Africanism strikes back is a conservative and he's not a liberal, I'm okay with that. I can't be a conservative. Well, then what am I going to be?
You cannot be a coon. It's one thing to be conservative. I know people that have conservative values without the white supremacy. I know black and white, right? So the fact that your CeeLo Green ass is taking conservatism as a whole and either defend or look the other way when those white attributes go along with it, that's what makes you a fucking coon, because you can't denounce it.
Because I'm not a conservative because of the Republican Party. I'm not a conservative because of some political party. It's not that. I look at my values. Do you know what conserve means? Conserve, or even conservatism means you want to keep things the way they are. That's what conservative means. You want to keep things the way they are.
He said it. I didn't. What did his boy Afro-Think Tank said? Conservatism. Well, you know what? Let me not go. Let's define what conservatism is. And this was brought up before. So let's define what conservatism is. He has it half right. You know, as always, he does a half-ass job at everything. He has it halfway right. So let's define let's look at the definition of what conservatism is. But I'm going to go back to one of my videos that I did that broke it down. And again, he's in on this video. It was basically another critique and review that I did of him and his distorted, dishonest version of what the definition of political affiliations are, as far as like conservative, moderate, Democrat, Republican, and far left, far right, yada 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 yada, right? And that's one of the videos that I really like, because it showed you how really and truly dishonest he is, right? And how he would change the narrative just to be right at that particular moment. He doesn't have consistency at all. There's no consistency in what he's saying, right? So here it is. So remember, he says it means to conserve, to keep things the way it is. He wants things the way it is. So let me go back out just so you guys can see what videos this is. So right here, you can see, just go on my channel right here. It says on one Pan-Republican strikes blacks. Again, FBA white victimhood. Because remember, that's another thing. Everything with him, if you, there's another reason why he's a coon. Every time black people are, remember, this, our situation in the Western Hemisphere is traumatic. We didn't get any kind of therapy. When you don't get therapy, you do a lot of crazy shit that seems normal. Anyone know about Dr. Joy DeGruy or anything about psychology, know anything about post-traumatic slave syndrome? A lot of things we're going through right now is due to that, and not being remedied, right? So every time you black people say like, hey, look, talk about racism or things that white supremacy has done to it, he disregards it and he calls it trauma bonding and victimhood. But when some white people something going on with some white people, then he wants to talk about it. If it's January 6th, he wants to like not talk about it, and when he does talk about it, lie about it. He wants to talk about, oh, they're victims. Oh, they shouldn't be locked up. This is like a nigga lapdog. If you go to a plantation, there'll be a dog. There'll be master there sitting, sipping on some lemonade. You will have a little hound dog there, and a nigga like him sitting right next to him. And if some black men come around, he's gonna send a nigga like that to seek us. Like, seek him, boy. Seek him, nigga. Go get him. Oh yeah, man. I was gonna get some. So anyway, so this is it right here. So this is the definition of what it is. You can see there's a graph right there. So I'm gonna let it go. Here, it just says moderate. So you see me, I leaned more on this side, and he's in the. It says moderate here. So I don't know if he took the test, or he took the test several times, so it came up moderate. I don't know. I'm just speculating, right? But for him, with all the crazy shit that he says, right, and you know what he's saying is crazy shit, by the definition we're about to do, is he would be, even if he came up moderate for real, he would have leaned dramatically towards the conservative. He wouldn't be in the middle at all. So you see where this bastard is lying? In here in this video a while back, he's saying he's moderate, right? But you just hear him say, and don't buy into the shit where you could change your mind. No, I have made him on many times. Well, you said it could be, it's okay to be moderate and be flexible. He was always a Republican. He's only saying that for the moment, and he'll flip flop. But then his politics and his rhetoric always goes to conservatism. And again, he's saying this is a test that he took where he's saying he's moderate, and this is where I'm correcting the obviously the record. Not at all whatsoever, right? But it came up moderate. I'm like, wow, right? So we're gonna have him explain a little bit, and we're gonna go into the real definition of what a progressive is.
Conservative, but I'm still a moderate. I still do look at things on a case-by-case basis.
Bullshit.
Pretty much all these different factions, they're just people who try to lump everything into one, like.
So you see where he lied? I didn't say that. He's always a Republican. So I'm going to move it Pat, I wanted to show you guys that to show you how dishonest he is. Right? So that's progressivism. So I'll get to that later. Or I should do it right now. I don't know if you guys could read that, but basically I have it up there, and I pretty do a rough explanation of what it is. So being progressive. So I'm gonna say, because I know off the top of my head. So like Afro-Think Tank said, right? Or I don't know if he said it already. Being, and what Brandon said, being conservative is being you want to conserve, right? We're talking politics here. So you want to conserve the natural way of life politically in America, aka MAGA, make America great again. That's all what conservatism is. So that's why people are saying you cannot be a conservative politically in America and a Pan-African. Because if you want to be a conservative in America, you want everything to be back how it was during 1776. That's what you want. To be a progressive, right? You want progress. It's a synonym for progress. If you're not a straight white male in America, nothing you have is everything will be working against you, right? Everything you're gonna have is gonna come through a white male. So the white woman even didn't have any rights, right? So how does she get all those goodies and benefits? Through white society, through her white husband, through her white uncle, her father, whatever. That's how she benefit directly, but she didn't directly have any rights. So if you're not a straight white male, it's very important. Remember, bills, amendments, all these things that people fought for, and the people who fought for it were, of course, some white males, but it was also the marginalized. The marginalized being anyone who's not a straight white male. So women, Native Americans, African Americans, right? These are the people that force change to have amendments. So that's what liberalism and progressivism is. Now, progressivism isn't all bad, is all good. It depends what topic you want to fight for, right? So I hope I knocked that out of the park, right? So that's the definition. I proved to you that he was fucking lying ass. So that's progressivism, and we're gonna do conservatism. You can see it right here, guys. Commitment. You know what? Why am I even reading it? I did it myself. I already did the heavy lifting. So I'm gonna play it. Ism is right, not what he's saying or preaches to be, right? So let's do what definition of what conservatism is, which is the polar opposite. Commit to traditional values. Whose traditional values? And ideas with opposition to change or innovation. Yo, I gotta get me a soundboard. I need to drop a bomb. Let's read it again. Commitment to traditional values. Whose traditional values? White traditional values. We're talking about United States here. So we're talking about European idealistic traditional values and ideas with opposition to change or innovation. We want things the way they are. Keep it the way it is. I do not want it to change. That's why you have a lot of Republicans and conservatives. They want things to be how it is. And Donald Trump coined it best. Make America great again. Great again for who? When was there a time in America where it was great for everybody? There's no such time. There's no such era. Unless you talk about white people. Unless you talk about straight white males. It was a perfect, beautiful time for straight white males because women had no power politically. right? They had no power. Only power they had was the power that men gave them, which was next to nothing, right? And black people and Native Americans and Chinese, they didn't have any power or anything. So, all right, guys. So you get the gist of what I'm saying. I was even saying it back then. So I don't know if he saw this video or not. I don't care or whatever. But the fact is, this Negro was too old to be saying bullshit like this and telling people half truths. And that's the thing I can't stand about him. Right? Be honest. Right? Be honest. This is what he's doing. His channel is a clickbait channel. You got Pan-Africanism, right? Everyone understands what Pan-Africanism, right? You can see the thumbnail that I have over here about Garvey, about what Garvey is, right? And if you study Garvey or know what Garvey is about, you wouldn't have such a loving affection for any political party, let alone a man who's in charge of the whole political party right now, who if Trump was alive, or these Trump and Garvey was alive at the same time, is this nigga really think that Trump would side with Marcus Garvey? That's a question I would love to ask Brandon. Do you think that Trump would side with Marcus Garvey? Would he? Because I don't think so. Because what is a quote that Marcus Garvey says? It says, "The time has come for the black man to forget his hero worship of other races and to create and emulate heroes of his own." What has any time this nigga ever quoted a Garvey quote or anything about being black, being proud, and doing on your own? What political figure that he has that stands on their own 2 feet? What black person that doesn't kiss white ass that stands on their own 2 feet that Brandon emulates? I'm not talking about Thomas Sowell, another kiss ass. Everyone knows this is a right-wing kiss ass. I'm not talking about people like that. You know what I'm saying? He has nobody. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys that, to show you that when he says conservatism, either he's too fucking stupid to know what it really means, which I really don't think that is, because our brother has clearly stated that, or he's going to state that, and he still sticks to his, and Brandon still sticks to his guns. This is the irresponsibility. His channel is fucking clickbait, because everyone has a fundamental understanding of what Pan-Africanism is and what Republican conservatism is. So let's get back to CeeLo Green lying his ass off and trying to spin and twist the narrative into something that is not. Well, let me look at my own thing. No, I'm not high. Neither does hold the ideology of Pan-Africanism. I told him he's a fake Pan-African and just a capitalist spoiling Africa, just like other white men in China. That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. No, I'm not high. You are absolutely correct, because that's what it is. He's using that Pan-Africanism as a ploy, right? No different than Tariq Nasheed, right? Okay, let me just feed the people what they want, so I can get views, so I can get revenue, so I can get super chats, so I can get all this other bullshit by fucking idiots. Look, there's an audience for everybody, right? There's an audience for everybody, right? When you speak to black Republicans, they're the most lost, incapable people of learning anything that goes against what their core belief, even if you see it verbatim. If I say Donald Trump is a grifter, he doesn't like Donald. He doesn't like Tariq Nasheed. Tariq is a grifter. He's building our community. Okay, Donald Trump is also a grifter. He did Trump University, a fake university that pretty much taught shit He got sued, and he had to give everybody their money back. He also had another campaign called Stop the Steal. It was a fund that he had so people could raise funds for him for his defense because he was being impeached. He took all that money and didn't spend one dime on his defense. And he does NFTs. And they keep saying this man is rich. Those are hustles. Those are grifts. You know what I'm saying? But if you show them that, you tell them that, they're gonna have an excuse. But yeah, no, I'm not high. Exactly right. Like people figure him out. A lot of people is like figuring him out. Like, yo, this dude's a fraud. I mean, he's this big MAGA Republican, but you'll never see this dude with a NRA hat on or not an NRA hat on with a MAGA hat on. He will have no Donald Trump memorabilia in his channel or on his channel because people know that's a sign of coonism because people understand what it really is. He's not giving you no nuance or, well, no, you know what, you guys were wrong. Like, no. So let me get into it because I don't want to be long. Where am I? All right, cool.
You don't want, and it doesn't mean things can never change, but it just means that you're going to be very slow to change things, especially when things are going well. You know what makes me a conservative? You know why I support somebody like Donald Trump? When Donald Trump was president, I said this story, you know, I could go to Africa. I could go to Kenya, East Africa, further than Nigeria and everything else.
Here.
I could go to East Africa for $525 round. $29 at most, like $239 for a dozen eggs. Bro, you paying $7, accept it or not. Because I literally can tell you my experience under Trump. And I can literally tell.
This is good. He's gonna his dumb ass is gonna lie. Hold on, let me just a couple seconds. He's gonna
better or worse. I promise you, under Trump, you weren't paying $7 for a dozen eggs.
Stupid bitch. It had this is how these they're fucking retarded. The reason why eggs went up, you guys please research this. The reason why eggs went up because there was a bird flu. It was a fucking bird flu, right? And the eggs were contaminated, so they had to throw away the eggs. Biden does not own a fucking chicken farm, you fucking idiot. Please look this up. This is how this guy is politically retarded. All he listens to is Fox News, Newsmax, Breitbart, Stormfront, whatever white racist or right-wing shit that he listens to. That what? Wow.
I promise you that much. There's a reason why blacks are moving towards conservatism. Because when you are a marginalized society, when you are a disenfranchised group, when it comes to economics especially, you can't handle things changing rapidly. Because it took you forever just to get to the point where you could survive with the current circumstances. It's like you finally, when you learn the rules to the game and you have a success, they try to change the rules on you. Look at the Indians. Excuse me. They emphasize common sense. They try to change the rules on you. $29 at most, like $239 for a dozen eggs. Bro, you paying $7, $8, $10 in some places. Political views, and we stick to them.
Eggs not even that expensive anymore. Again, with the lies. Again, from where I'm at. But that shit's been over for months.
Simply, right? Simply based on, hey, I'm better than this guy. But they can't tell you how they're better. A little bit of Biden in his 60 Minutes interview. When he
again, I'm going to skip to his bullshit. Let me get to the juicy part. I don't give a fuck about Biden. I just read an article that Joe Biden is running again. I'm like, oh fuck. Like just go retire somewhere and like the fuck. Like, no one wants you. Like, no, go away. So let me get to this part where he continues it. And all he's gonna do is disagree with his brother, Afro-Think Tank, which is fine. But all I'm saying is when I come in I come in that space, or other people come in that space and say the same thing, he has this anger and this hatred for them. But he's supposed to be a Pan-Africanist that love black people or whatever. Hey, look, you're black, I'm black. You know, let's work together and stuff like that. And main time he said, I can't work together with you because you don't bow down to the Republican plantation party. You don't bow down to Master Trump and all the white racists. Right. And so again, he's a fake Pan-African. He's more of a Republican than he is a Pan-African.
Democrat. I'm not a liberal Democrat. So let's get that out the way. I don't cape for liberals or Democrats. I am a independent progressive. Okay.
Now this is the last point where I think I'm gonna disagree with Think Tank. He's not a liberal, but he's progressive. A progressive and a liberal is the same thing. When I just pulled up to you guys, a progressive and a liberal is the same thing. A liberal is the synonym to the word liberal is liberate, right? So again, is with the whole, this country was made for white straight males. So if you're not a white straight males, you have to liberate yourself from that paradigm and get some protections and rights for you. So to say I'm not a liberal, but I'm progressive, it makes no sense. It shows you that you don't understand or know the terms at all of what you're talking about. And again, you can be a progressive, you can be liberal, but on what? There's not a list, a specific set list on, if you're saying this is a list of progressives and everything therefore, and this is the list of all liberals. Yes, things out of that list, you could say, yeah, got it, yes, no, yes, no, is a list. So when someone says that, an intelligent person, I'm not dealing with a lot of intelligent people here, an intelligent person would say, oh, what's your liberal agenda? What's your liberal on? You're a progressive? Okay, what you're trying to bring progress to? To what? What's your progressive agenda of what you want to progress within the American society, within the American paradigm, within the American justice system, within the American economical system, in government? That's the follow-up question. You don't be an intellectual, lazy dumbass like Brandon and say, well, if you're a liberal, it means that you think women are men or men are women, or if you have, men could participate in women's sports. You're just an ass, and you don't understand what nuances and shades of gray. There's shades of gray in both parties.
Progressive. I'm about progressive policies. Progressive policies that progress the African people. That's what I'm about. Okay.
I agree with my brother Afro-Think Tank. Agreed.
Conservatives, on the other hand, conservatives, that party, white American conservatives, are about conserving white supremacy, white culture, white power. They want to eliminate us. All those shootings that's been happening where black people just having to knock on the wrong door, black people just having to walk down the main street and get shot by somebody, those are conservative Republicans shooting us because they're watching Fox News, who gaslight conservatives to make them afraid of black people.
That's not true. That's just...
And I'm done. I want to hear this coon ass, fat, roly poly, Martin stunt double looking motherfucker even say that's not true. Because we all know that is true. So all of a sudden, Afro-Think Tank is a liar. He's uninformed. Before he was informed and knew everything about the Democrats, he wasn't pushing back on that. Oh, he's absolutely right. But when it comes to Republicans, he's wrong. This is the bias that he has. And even when people, or he tries to say, well, you're a diehard Democrat or liberal. I laugh at that because when it comes to coon ass niggas like this, I'm saying I'm not. And then when I'm in Democrat spaces with black people and I say Obama ain't shit, he didn't do nothing for black people and all this other stuff, then Clintons ain't shit, they did nothing for black people and all this other stuff, and they didn't do a lot of other things, I'm fighting them. But it's okay for me to be the bad guy when I'm in all these spaces because the common denominator is that none of these groups or these parties that I'm in could take the truth. Right? You have hardcore evidence, you show them the evidence, and they say, oh, you just a hater. You just hate black people. Da, 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 da. So what Afro-Think Tank said is absolutely right. So you have on Twitter, even to what like, let's listen to the base. If anyone knows about my channel, you see my channel, I do the political stuff. You see I have nothing but white Trump goons and everything really talk about how they feel about black people. Now, remember, this nigga wants you to come over to the Republican Party, right? And the question he should be answering is, why is the Republican Party better than the Democrat Party, right? And you have to have no integrity, no self-love for yourself to join to be rubbing elbows with people like this. So, for example, I'm going to show you this right here. Why this nigga is lying. These are people within his group. It's not just random people that we're picking from the group. These guys go to Trump rallies and they talk to Trump supporters. All right. So let's go.
Woke culture. It's what everyone's talking about.
I think it's a bunch of crap. They're trying to change.
And again, I'm gonna bring it back. That's another thing. I have to do a video about that. Now, just like how Republicans, alt-right, Breitbart people have co-opted the sign OK to mean white power, right? OK just means okay, but they co-opted it to mean white power. If you guys know what I mean, right? Look that up. It's white power now. You have a lot of white supremacists, police officers. I saw something in New York when Donald Trump was being indicted rightfully that you had a police officer did the OK sign, but they do it upside down, right? Because when you do it upside down at a certain angle, it looks like a P. And then also you got your three fingers that's left over. That's supposed to represent a W, white power, right? So that's been co-opted. The word woke also has been co-opted. Woke was something basically meaning that enlightened, your third eye. You see things for what they are. That's what it means. The right has co-opted, again, something positive, something black, right, to mean something negative, right? So I wanted to say that.
Talking about.
I think it's a bunch of crap. They're trying to change what our children think in the schools.
What would you like to see happen?
I'd like to get back like it was in the 60s.
This is a perfect example of a Republican telling on themselves for being racist while also not realizing that they're being racist.
Before all the civil rights stuff?
Before all the civil rights stuff.
So you would like to see things go back to before the civil rights stuff?
Oh, yeah.
And again, this nigga is a proud Republican. He wants us, right, to tuck our tails behind our legs like him and just be a good little nigga and just go up under these racist white people to get what? What's the prize? What's the benefit? I know there is no prize. When it comes to dignity and respect and stuff like that, you can't have that if you're a black Republican, right? He's saying all these good things that happened under Trump and all this other bullshit. But he wants you to be a black Republican. He wants you to go to these rallies with these people. When you got a lot of racist white people and they say this is a sign of their race, it's like, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. I got black friends. Brandon's the black friend. That's who it is. The fucking sellout coon ass nigga, the Uncle Ruckus, a young Uncle Ruckus' son. You know what I'm saying? When you got a bunch of racist people saying, well, I got a black friend, these are the niggas that they talking about. Continue.
Oh, yes. Where people have their freedom in this country. People have their freedom in it. Where people have, yes. Where people have
civil rights.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Where people have their freedom in this country.
Well, certain groups didn't have as much at time, right?
Right. They didn't have it much at the time, but we still got to get back where this country stands up for this country.
Getting back to this.
Exactly. This is, and it was another I think I was on Dynasty's channel where I said that MAGA means it's racist. It means get back to the way they think, make America great again. When was America ever great again? And then he's going to say, well, that's not what it means. And again, he's going to say, I'm just doing the victimhood. Donald Trump, my daddy. And he wouldn't say, define what does that mean? If my definition is wrong, what does it mean? He never explained that. But these people are telling you that. These people are telling you that, right? A bunch of racists that are there, and this nigga wants you to go over with a bunch of racists. I don't like what?
This country stands up for this country. It's code for white people being on top. We're gonna take our country back. You got it.
Hey, you look at the in this country. What do they want? They want people to come from Africa. The Mexicans.
See that? Mm-hmm.
You want people, they stick up for their own kind. The Mexicans want more Mexicans here. It's that way.
There's all black colleges, there's all black churches, and nobody complains. But if whites have all white college, all white church, they're racist.
I think it comes from a history of the fact that they had to, because of segregation, they had to establish their own schools and churches. Yeah, African Americans.
Well, that's true. And everybody got along good back then.
Sorry, say that again. Just
the segregation, everybody got along good.
What is with these crust?
Conservatives and Republicans is the best. You guys, I could play it more and more, but you guys get the gist. Get the gist of it, right? You guys get the gist of it, and why this Negro infuriates me to the core, right? But I'm gonna I'm gonna keep it playing, man. Let's listen to the black friend. Let's listen to the black friend. What's up, Naps? What's up? How you doing, bro? Thanks for joining. Oh yeah, and Tucker Carlson. Yeah. He is. Yeah, he actually is. I don't disagree with that at all. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to it. Let's get back to him trying to tear up his boy, shitting on his boy, telling his boy is stupid. Afro-Think tank. Right? So hold on a second. Let's get back to it.
Just a opinion, because in California, black people get shot all the time.
Bitch, nigga, I don't like talking like I'm from the street. I don't like using the N-word. I really don't. But if it talks like a nigga and acts like a nigga, it's very hard for me not to call it a nigga. He's talking about the boy that got shot in a red state. What the fuck does California got to do with this situation? And this is what he does all the time. You present a situation that's clearly racist, right? And if anyone knows about the story, the prosecutor and everyone there saying that this was motivated by racism. The man watched Fox News all the time, and he had racist tendencies. Anyone that look at this story knows that, but he's not going to dive into that because he's a fucking coon, right? He's going to talk about California. We're not talking about California. Why are you using California as an example? Why can't you use the example that your good brother, Afro-Think Tank, brought up? I'm just going to skip this bullshit, man.
Oh, we need to address the underlying issues. That ain't progressive. Ain't it funny how people who be like, we progressive, always looking behind them? You guys do know AOC is also a progressive.
So?
You guys do know that, right? AOC is also a progressive.
So?
And how does she vote when it comes to
threat to white people and their population? Threat.
KKK and slavery. So what we're going to do is we're going to purposely forget history. That's also a progressive. And how does she vote when it comes to sending money to Ukraine, warmongering in places all around the world? She goes right on in there and votes right with the Democrats. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Now this nigga don't like. Whatever. I'm not. I'm gonna let it go. I gotta let that go.
Antifa and BLM attacked me, not Republicans. 100%.
What the fuck? I gotta let that go too.
I've never had a conservative Republican do anything to me. But you could just say that. You could just assume, because that's an assumption. He doesn't know these police officers' political affiliation, and he'll be surprised. Say that. You could just
America talk.
Morris Rulin. I'm not going to spin anything. Click the link and come up here. See, this is just low-level thinking. KKK and slavery. So what we're going to do is we're going to purposely forget. It's also a progressive. And how does she vote? Let's do it. KKK and slavery. So what we're going to do is we're going to purposely forget history.
That's a fact. So for black people,
let's think about that. He's also a progressive. When he puts Brandon Johnson on screen and Brandon Johnson says, oh, we can't demonize these people who are out here attacking people and stuff, beating up black people. Oh, we need to address the underlying issues. That ain't progressive. Ain't it funny how people who be like, we progressive?
Who wants to steal our money? At least we're still alive, though. See, that's the thing. We're still alive. They don't want to kill us because they need us alive so they can take our money.
Let's do it.
Threat to white people and their population.
Say that. You could just assume, because that's an assumption.
America should be trying to willy-nilly go to the conservative Republican Party as if they actually care about us. If anybody has ever paid attention to what conservative white people in America talk about.
Morris Rulin. I'm not going to spin anything. Click the link and come up here. See, this runs there.
I don't care about this shit. I'm trying to get past this.
But tell me this.
But what Morris Rulin was saying says, Brandon, you're American conservatives are white supremacists, period. You can't spin this. And he's absolutely right. He's going to try, but he's going to fail.
White guy telling you that you should have no right to whether or not your kid can get a sex check. White guy telling you that you should have.
America should be trying to willy-nilly go to the conservative Republican Party as if they actually care about us. If anybody has ever paid attention to what conservative white people in America talk about.
Morris Rulin. I'm not going to spin anything. Click the link and come up here. See, this is just low-level thinking. This is black people who are too lazy to actually put any real thought into stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm just not going to capitulate. Brandon, American conservatives are white supremacists, period. You can't spin this. What the hell? The Democratic Party is more white supremacist than anybody.
He's going to explain how. I don't know why that is. I forgot there was. We all know. Name a party right now, a group right now. They all lean right. Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, KKK. They all right. That's self-explanatory. Breitbart, Storm. All these people are right wing. They all Phillies all is right wing. And as you see here in my right there, the Confederates right here. You see right over here, right here on my page. You can see that they got the Trump this, and on the same flagpole they got the Confederacy. Show me a Democratic version of that. Where's the Democratic version of that? There is no Democratic version of that. Right? So what the F is he talking about? You got Confederate flags waving, the Blue Lives Matter, all that are white racist groups in America that go out to January 6th. That's always at Trump rallies, yada, 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 yada. Same thing with the American flag also being co-opted as well, we're the real Americans as a form of white supremacy. That's why FBA does that. They just take on white supremacist talking points and things like that. So, again, show me the Democrat version of that. He's saying the Democrat Party is more racist, so you should at least show me the same amount or even more of these racist parties plus more on the Democratic side. But he can't do it because he's full of shit. So let's get back. I'll put it back up again. What is lying behind?
The hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? White supremacist is the white guy telling you that you should have no right to whether or not your kid can get a sex change or not.
Again, he's talking about the far left. And if that was to happen, I would disagree. These are pockets of people that they don't have influence like that yet. Even some people on the left that was saying that shit, they kind of retracted it now. Like people from like TYT and all these fucking crazy like liberals, when it comes to that subject, they do that. But no, that's not a thing right now that we're fighting like that in my neighborhood.
The white supremacist is the one who says we should be allowed to sexualize your children and put.
That's not white supremacy. They're doing it to everybody. He's desperate. There are not white people only targeting black people to do that. The radical left, the people on the far left, radically are only people that doing that to everybody. That's not white supremacy. You grimace ass looking fool.
Put LGBTQ books all up in they classroom with boys doing all types of sex acts, and they teachers could come on, bro.
You know he just lied, right? I didn't hear anything about that. I didn't check up on that, but I'm pretty sure he's lying. Remember, this is a man when I was on his show a couple months ago that didn't care that Donald Trump was back in the days when Donald Trump was doing the little Miss Universe pageants, and when I brought that up to him, he said, "So what?" They asked him to judge it. This is the type of guy we're dealing with. When I say his white orange daddy is saying he wants to fuck his daughter, if you saw when he was on that show, he's like, I would like to date Ivanka if she wasn't my daughter. He doesn't care about that. Donald Trump walking in on teenagers and little girls and stuff like that. He said, "Hey, bro," they asked him to judge it. So please take what he's saying with a grain of salt.
Really? That's bullshit. It's bro. But this guy's a coward because he'll never come up here. That's okay. They'll never.
No one comes up there because you don't give people a chance. You were in an echo chamber. So only people that agree with you get shine. They could talk forever. All you want to do is go up there and just shout. That's it. That's why no one would ever come up there. So let me finish this up. I gotta wrap this up. I want to, and he's not gonna let our brother Afro-Think Tank finish because he's triggered. He got triggered. As you can see here, he's not letting our brother Afro-Think Tank finish at all. He's just gonna be screaming, yelling.
Who are most likely to do that are Republicans. The progressives.
So I'm gonna just end it like right here. So let's see what the rest of our brother Afro-Think Tank said. That's what we're gonna do right now. And then I'm just gonna bring it much to a close right now. I just want to just show you guys. I've been saying this about Brandon for the longest. Fine, you don't like me, I don't give a fuck, right? But this is supposed to be his boy, right? And we all agree to disagree, but you can see how dishonest he is when it comes to his own friend, his own boy, his own so-called brother. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, let me share my screen. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, I'm going to show you the video in its entirety, in its whole entirety. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not high. That's all he does. That's why no one comes up there. It's like, it's cool. Like, oh wow, someone's giving me a say. No, he only lets you talk if you're saying things that you agree. You know what I'm saying? I've watched debates where people say what you have to say. You hold your tongue. When your time is over, when the person's finished, then you address it. He doesn't do that. He's a shitty host when it comes to that. When you're on the opposing side. When the rare times that I do go on this channel, I only go on this channel is once we're in agreement. And even in the past, he'll bring we be talking about Tariq Nasheed. We all agree about Tariq Nasheed and stuff like that, and he'll bring us some political shit because he's trying to spar with me because he gets an L with me every fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So let me share my screen, and we're gonna see the rest of Afro-Think Tank's video because he's not gonna show it because he got triggered and he went on to some other bullshit. So, all right. So where were we? Let me get to the spot where we left off. Man, what's going on? Hold on a second, guys. It's acting up. Come on. Come on, people. That's why I can't do lives, man. That's how I don't know how, like, look, people's life is their life, but I don't know how people could have a job, have kids, and I can't get no time to myself, man. Like these niggas got like no time. They do like 2-3 videos a day. I could barely get one in. What the heck? Oh my gosh, what happened to it? Hold on. All right. Damn. Sorry, guys. Something I think I have to. I think I might have to refresh this page or something. No, I don't want to wait. Sorry, guys. Just hold on a second while I fix this up. Damn. You know what? How about if I just do this? Yeah, let's exit. I'll just do this. Hold on, I'm about to pull it up right now. Damn, what they doing, yo? Hold on a second, guys. I don't know what's going on. StreamYard is like acting up really bad. All right, let me try something in the meantime. So let's give you all another example of Black Republicans while I fix this up. So you got a story right here, right? I don't know if y'all saw this is on another one on one of my videos that I have, and it was basically again this goes speaks to my brother Afro-Think Tank. Now this is where earlier where it could have went really bad. It was I'll just play it.
A former Republican official in New Jersey decided it'd be a great idea to call the cops on his neighbor, a 9-year-old Black girl, for doing her part. A former Republican official in New Jersey decided it'd be a great idea to call the cops on his neighbor, a 9-year-old Black girl, for doing her part in killing a local invasive species. Now, here's what happened. On the morning of October 26th.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off, but my daughter is 9. My daughter is 9, right? And I don't live too far away from where this incident took place. My daughter is 9.
Second in Caldwell, New Jersey. Fourth.
Yo, guys, I'm gonna. All right, guys. I don't know what's going on. Like StreamYard is acting real crazy right now. Like I don't know what's the deal. Damn. I mean, hold on. Thank you for staying with me, but let me see if I could see if I could do something. I might refresh something. I don't know what's going on. But enjoy Umar. I know Naps will like that.
When you get to my level of education, you become a coon or a Negro. And what's the difference between a coon and a Negro, Envy? The Negro is innocent in his ignorance. The Negro think Jesus is white. The Negro think white people are smarter. It's not his fault. He's been miseducated, Charlemagne. But the coon is dangerous. The coon knows Jesus wasn't white. The coon knows white people are not superior to blacks, but they will act like they are because they're going to get something for doing so. The coon consciously sells out his people. The Negro does it out of ignorance. I can work with a Negro. Never trust the coon. When you get to my level of education, you become a coon or a Negro. And what's the difference between a coon and a Negro, Envy? The Negro is innocent in his ignorance. The Negro think Jesus is white. The Negro think white people are smarter. It's not his fault. He's been miseducated, Charlemagne. But the coon is dangerous. The coon knows Jesus wasn't white. The coon knows white people are not superior to blacks, but they will act like they are because they're going to get something for doing so. The coon consciously sells out his people. The Negro does it out of ignorance. I can work with a Negro. Never trust the coon. When you get to my level of education.
All right, y'all. I think I might have to call it quits, man. I was just trying to show this real quick. And then just bring it to an end, but StreamYard is acting funny. Like I can't share certain things. And I don't know. It's playing, but it's not sharing. It's like the weirdest thing. Damn. I'm trying to show the rest. I'm just trying to show the rest of Afro-Think's video, man. And it's not letting me. All right, boom, whatever. I'm gonna try to see if I could come back real quick and do it. It'll be another late night. I'm just trying to get it in, but I'm gonna call it. I don't want to. I'm gonna call it quits for now. My phone's ringing off the hook. My wife is asking for me. Kids is asking for me. Should have been finished. I was trying to make this a quickie, but yo, guys, thanks for rocking with me, man. If anything, y'all want to look at it, you know what I'm saying? Afro-Think's tank, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but thanks for you know what I'm saying, Ellie, thank you. Of course, as always. No, I'm not high. Thank you, brother, for coming through. Of course, Naps. Also, thank you for coming through, man. Man, just trolling with the truth, man. You don't gotta like troll him. You know what I'm saying? You just troll him with the truth. You see he gets triggered and shit and stuff like that. Start screaming and kicking you off. And after he said, "I don't kick people off," man. Once you checkmate him hard, bro, like he loses his shit. You know what I'm saying? And he could call me a Democrat all you want. You know what I'm saying? The thing about technology. Everyone, you can always go back on my recordings and you could hear me chastise on the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? I'll chastise the Democratic Party all the time. Like the shit that got me pissed off was when they on Edmund Pettis's bridge with Kamala Harris on Joe Biden there on some we shall overcome. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? You could go right now. The people who can make changes, if you really care about the legacy of John Lewis and black people getting their ass being on Edmund Pettis Bridge, you could make the same campaign promises you have and create laws like you did for Asians, for LGBTQ people. You could do all of that. Why are y'all stupid, lazy, simple-minded niggas just like got this helpless mindset like, oh, we can't do nothing. I wish something could be done. You need to do that in front of the White House on some, okay, you made these campaign promises and you say you down with us and all this other stuff. Do something about it. And that's what makes Democrats racist, right? And liars, right? They're not gonna like, hey, they don't want to make any change. Because they make any changes, it's going to mess up their base, right? Because they don't want to change America too much. So they just do the symbolism. You ain't going to get no fucking Republicans out there doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. You just heard they want things to go back to the way it was. So they love the fact that black people was getting their ass beat on Edmund Pettus Bridge. They love it. They want the civil rights to be a long-going memory. They want to go back in time, make America great again. But anyway, thank you all for joining me. I'm going to try to see if I can get back on. I got a busy weekend. I don't know if I could do it tomorrow. I'll try to do it tonight. If not, I'll try to cram it in on Sunday, y'all. But thanks for joining me, y'all. Peace. Be safe out there.